Welcome to A Mind for Life. We're out here today with a very special video in our series that we're doing. We're doing the Endless Being series. The Endless Being series. In the last video, as you remember, I talked about the Great Revelation. Now, the Great Revelation leads to the Great Revolution, but the Great Revelation is us coming to a realization that many things that we believed in as from childhood weren't true. They weren't true as such. And I gave an example of Santa Claus. So if you believe Santa Claus is real like I did, then you come to find out Santa Claus is not real. It's the parents. That leads to a certain change, meaning that maybe a disenchantment, maybe a little sad, because I thought Santa Claus was in the North Pole working with elves. They were thinking about me. I was good all year, and I'm going to get these special things. Santa Claus is going to come on his sleigh in front of the moon, and he's going to deliver this, and Rudolph is going to be at the front of the sleigh, reindeers. And how magical. He's going to come down the chimney. He's going to get in there somehow. Now, when I come to realize that Santa Claus isn't real, what I also come to realize is that, wait a minute, if Santa Claus is not real, then him being at the North Pole with elves is not real. And if that's not real, then the sleigh isn't real. But if the sleigh isn't real, then Rudolph isn't real either. And it's like a chain effect. It's like a domino effect of realizations that come through based on something that's not really real and not really true. So that was my real point in the last video. And when we base so much of our identity and who we are on ideas that we come to find out that weren't true as such, that can lead to what is called the dark night of the soul. But I said that that's not a dark night of the soul. That's the beginning of the revolution. That's the beginning of the endless being. That's the beginning of being able to be, do, and have at your full desire. Being fully able to choose starts with that great revelation. And you can go back and watch the video. Now, this series is different than other series, and I'm going to explain. This series is non-linear. It doesn't go from one idea builds to another idea based on how I'm feeling it. I feel it, it's real, it comes to me, but then I sort of let myself put it into a framework so that I can guide you along the way. That's not what this Endless Being series is going to be about. This series is non-linear in that it is not following a progression as such to my mind. I'm not in a place of allowing my logicalness facility to put this into a framework that makes sense. Now, that may not be for everybody. This series may not be for you. It may be for you. I hope it is. Now, so you can't come to this series with your compare contrast. You can't come to this series, that makes sense to me. Let's get into a debate. There's a place to debate, but this information here is revelatory. It's to create a opening, a revelation to where you can move into a greater freedom. Okay, so I'm going to get to this new video here, and this is different. Now, this is not the easiest thing for me to describe, but I'm going to do the best I can. What's the size of your soul? How big is your soul? How small is it? What's the size of your soul? And that is the question that this video is based on. What size is your soul? Now, there's certain ideas about the soul, like the soul is in the body. So if the soul is in the body, that gives me an idea of the size, right? In other words, if it's encased in my body, then I would think that it would be about the same height I am. If it's encased in someone else's body, it may be a little bigger or smaller. This idea that the soul is in the body is a very established idea, and I'm not here to debunk that. Again, this information is not about challenge or confrontation. This information is about revelation. In other words, moving you to a place of a new open beingness, of a greater truth, of a greater awareness, so that you can have the good impact in the world, in your relationships that you desire, your heart's desire. Now, there's another idea of the soul, that the soul is outside of the body. Yeah, that's an idea. Now, the idea that the soul is outside of the body means that the soul encompasses the body. It keeps it together. It keeps the physical structure of the body intact, and it gives life to the body. The soul may be as big as 2 city blocks. I've heard that. The soul may be as big as 6 feet across. I've heard that too. Around. Now, for our video, I'm going to share with you what I got about this. And it's different. Let's not look at the size of the soul in terms of physical dimensions, because the soul is not physical. The past, the present, the future realities, past, present, and future realities are a dream of the soul in the ever-present moment of now. Past, present, and future reality is a dream that the soul is having right now. It's simply a dream of the soul. This is a soul. My soul is dreaming this right here. What happened 6 minutes ago, my soul dreamt that. What happened 6 years ago is a dream of my soul. What's going to happen in 20 minutes is a dream that my soul is having right now. That's how big my soul is. That's a different idea, and it's not the easiest idea to communicate. But I'm hoping that this triggers a revelation in you. When you think about, let's take the past. When you think about the past, you have to think about it, don't you? You may see consequences of it. I had a scar when I fell on my bike, and I see the scar right now. But the moment of falling on my bike, you would have to remember that. And oftentimes when we engage our minds in memory, our bodies feel what we felt during that time. You can do this. It's an ability. But the actual falling off the bike is a dream, isn't it? But it was real. The soul is dreaming about that right now. The soul is dreaming about this very moment. I think about things that have happened before, and they were real. All of this is real. But here I am right now. I was there. That happened. I can remember it. I can remember it. But it's not now. It's remembering. But it happened. It was real. And it is real as a dream the soul is having right now in all of its possibilities. If we talk about falling off of a bike, there's a possibility, a scenario where I didn't fall off the bike. That's as real as the scenario that happened where I fell off the bike. Do you understand? And the soul is dreamt of all of that and is dreaming of that in the moment. The past, present, and future, the soul is dreaming of that right now. That's how big the soul is. And you may say, okay, well, what's the consequence? Okay, this sounds deep. But what's the consequence of this? What does this mean? I'm going to share that in the next video. I wanted to just give this in pieces because this is a high-hanging fruit. This is not a low-hanging fruit, meaning that it's not the easiest thing in the world to describe, what I'm describing right now, because it is not of the physical. And our language is geared towards physicality. But just think of who you identify yourself as. Just think of your life experiences and your identity with those. And think of the size of your soul. Think about that. Think about what you're being right now. That's part of reality, which is a dream that the soul is having right now in all of its possibilities. This is something that if you allow yourself to open to this, you will tap into what I'm saying, and you will, I looked at some pictures from growing up and people I love, family members. It was so real. And it was truly real. And they are truly real. None of this is to discount people being real. We're not what I call neo-idealists here. Neo-idealism. That's not what we do. And I talked about that in the cosmology of being. But when I look back at those pictures, I realized that that was a dream. Here I am right now as if none of that happened. Was it real? And of course we know that our loved ones are real and experiences are real, but there's something about the soul to where the soul is ever rejuvenating itself. It's brand new in every single moment. And I want you to open yourself up to this. Like I said, this is not logical, sequential, linear. This is something that you will know on the inside. It's based on revealed. All right. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about I feel, and I'm on a journey with this just like you are. I already have some of this information about what's the impact of the size of the soul. What's the practical impact of this? And why is it important? So I have that already. But I wanted to just take it one step at a time, and I want you to take some time to really, really feel the size of your soul. Not in physical dimensions, but in the terms that we talked about. All right? So thanks for coming to A Mindful Life. Peace out.